golden pyramid, that's long for TGP. Had to learn my worth and self-mastery, and how to stand on my feet and not live on my knees. I'm 2 paychecks away from becoming Chewbacca. Refuse glue in a can, angry cookie monster. Willy Wonka eating chocolate by Lake Minnetonka. The purple one, they call me slave to my face, but I'm so New York, it's in my balls and the way I talk. What do you expect from a sinner of New York? They'd rather have me in a cage, hamster running in place. Whatever they do, my spirit they can't break.
What's going on, everybody? It's your host, the Crypto Wonder. Hope you're doing well, and let's get right into it. So this episode, I want to talk about some of the things that we've been experiencing, whether directly or indirectly, as far as the markets go, right? If you're in crypto, things are not looking too bad, depending on, your scope, your view, your position, what you're dealing with, etc., right? And if you're also a customer, a banking customer, the feeling, depending on, again, where you stand and where your position is, might not be the same. We see all this crazy stuff taking place with the banks. How many have collapsed so far? I mean, this is very telling, I think that these are very interesting times, and it's about balance, right? Keeping a balance, making sure that you don't get pulled in either direction too hard. So that way, you could be focused on some type of even keel and make sure you make decisions that work for you in the end, right? Certain Eastern philosophies talk about having balance, and that can bring better control, clearer thinking, right? The emotions are put to the side, and you can concentrate on what matters, because it's easy to get caught up in the hype. Whether, the crypto market is pumping, hex pump to Pluto, or whether you hear something like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan just collapsing, something crazy like that. Like, you hear the dollar bill just got inflated by 1,000,000x, something crazy. And then here we are in the middle. And then some of us live somewhat in that type of continuum in the middle in general. Again, depends on where you stand, your position in life. So, to those who are affected by the bank runs in a negative way, this is hard lessons, teaching moments. It's hard because those of us who study this, and we understand, like, this is par for the course in an ugly way, with all the money printing that's been made. Things like this, it's almost like it's expected. It's expected for people to engage in complete and utter tomfoolery. And you're talking about people who we are supposed to, quote unquote, entrust with our money, entrust with creating and making decisions and creating policy, regulations, etc., for the betterment of us. Yeah, okay. As if they hold the scepter and they, right, ingest, they hold a scepter of justice, and they ingest absolute effective truth. These people are human beings, and they lie unless they're on another type of level in doing things, which is not going to be for this episode, Not everybody you think you see are who they are to be, like for real. Like let's be for real. But you're dealing with individuals who, made all kinds of crazy, wild decisions. So, in the simplest level, from what I gather from Silicon Valley, for example, once they had the money from the people, once the bank has the money, the bank can do whatever it decides to do with the money. To flip it, try to multiply it, to make more money. And sometimes they make the risky of risky decisions. They might as well just go on the block and roll dice. I mean, for real. When you're investing in risky vehicles of interest-bearing so-called securities, and it's just like you're crazy with it because the thing is extremely volatile. I mean, mortgage-backed securities, like what are we talking about? Right? Just weird. Switching speeds a little bit, I heard someone say on because it's been like people talking about this whole bank thing, like chats, etc., etc. And someone said that they believe that a preferred stock in a bank right now, they feel like that is a good time. It's actually a great move to make. Was giving out financial advice just like that, just straight up said, listen, he believes preferred stock in a particular bank is the move. And if you hold it for 5 months, imagine what the yield is going to look like. And he's saying this in a favorable way. Like, payday, whatever. Bank stock, put it somewhere, or you acquire it, whatever it is, whatever, hold it a few months and imagine what the yield is going to look like. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to look anything like crypto. It's not going to look anything. It's not going to reach. It's not going to be, I'm sorry to say, it's just a fact. Not some kind of bank stock the next 5 months where you could do something in crypto and there's no words. It can't even, This is, you can't even have the same conversation. You can't have the same conversation with crypto and crypto yield, interest, profit, ROI, and plus, you're in the green all the way, maximum, highest, appreciating asset class in forever, versus a bank yield, a stock yield, equities, whatever bond, whatever interest you get from that market, legacy. You have people like 401k, who run pension funds and 401ks and retirement funds who are so shook right now. They're so shook. You understand, like folks who are trying to expose themselves to crypto with the USDC getting depegged because of the $3 billion fiasco that happened surrounding Silicon Valley. That's making a lot of people sweat because they had a lot of faith in USDC. Because to them, that was almost like the digital form of, the United States government. USDC, look, it's blue, it's white, look at the logo of USDC, it's the dollar of crypto, and this stable coin, and able coin, and enable coin. And you see what happened. Depeg, like it's nothing. $3 billion taken off, depeg, depeg, no longer a dollar. And you got these banks and, hedge funds, and, because the spirit of greed and degenerate encompasses everybody. Like it's just there. That's why I was saying, like, people are gonna make mistakes. It doesn't matter what level, socioeconomic strata they're on or whatever position they play. Look, man, they're gonna be affected. So some guys who had the authority, they just, again, it was a gambling, it was a crapshoot, and that's what they did with the monies of the people. That's what they did. Middleman, third party, intermediary. This is one of the thousands of reasons why crypto is here. This is why crypto exists right now. Period. And I think people, for going back to the thing about this guy talking about investing in a preferred bank stock, how the yield will be great. I mean, like, that was his tip, his advice, his financial advice for the day. What I'm like, imagine like, yeah, but you see how early we are in this crypto space? You see? You have to see how early we are. Like, if these guys, 2023, in the middle of this mania, this craziness surrounding banking collapse, bank runs, etc., etc., this guy is still giving advice related to stock and related to banks. Because it was a stream, actually. It was a chat with majority traders, people who day trade. You should have heard the level, like, look, day trading is a profession that exists, that it's not my thing, but it happens. It's something that people engage in. People made a lot of money and it's not going anywhere, but it's very volatile. It's very, very volatile. If you don't know what you're doing, you lose more often than win anything. It's just a glorified form of the casino, gambling. And this is what some people do. They do this. This is their career. Folks do this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And they're still dealing with legacy. They're not even thinking about crypto. They're not even thinking about anything crypto. Forget about DeFi. You see how early we are? And then sometimes I find how, like, we're isolated in a way, while still living synonymous in the world, of course, but we're isolated. Like, folks who are not in this culture, in this world, this crypto DeFi space that we're in, they just don't see it. They don't understand. They're not going to understand. It's a totally different situation. Totally different situation. And it's hard to explain to folks who are not involved. But of course, sooner or later, they'll have no choice but to get involved. And it's going to be having a discussion more than just about a Bitcoin. It's going to involve having a discussion, involving smart contracts, involving DeFi, involving a bunch of different things out more than just about a Bitcoin. Because for some people, the crypto stops right there, Bitcoin or a dog coin. Where we know it's much more than that, but it's going to take time, right? That's why this whole thing with delayed gratification is it's so relative, and it's a bit profound, because it's not only relative to just holding crypto for a long period of time and earning yield and benefiting from price increase or appreciation. It's deeper than just about a crypto. Because some people, they thrive on being instantly gratified every day, right? It can mean anything that they need to anything that precludes them to bring some type of inner joy and satisfaction. They want it every day. And some people live in that state, and sometimes that need to satisfy some type of impulse right away, that need overall, not overall, but after a period of time, could become completely destructive. Completely destructive. Right? You want to just give up a bad habit, like stop drinking or stop smoking. Because otherwise, while you're engaging in the drinking and smoking, you're instantly gratifying your need, your craving, your addiction, the stranglehold that it has on you. You're doing that every day, instantly gratifying that need. Meanwhile, when you engage in obtaining some type of assistance, support, some treatment, you exercise, you remain committed, you're focused, you're determined. It takes work. It takes conviction, right? It takes a certain level of discipline and a certain degree of self-respect, which will bring absolute greatness when you reach the outcome. And that outcome is not going to be instantly gratified. when we engage in sports activities, and things of that nature, we have to practice, right? If we have these long-term goals as children, we want to be, a professional athlete in whatever sport genre, whatever. And they you're groomed, you're trained, you're engaging in activities and sports and et cetera, through the years leading up to adulthood, young adulthood or late teenage, blah, 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 adulthood, where you're ready to because you've worked so hard for so many years. It's not something that happened overnight. And those of you who are fortunate to not succumb to an injury, you're winning. You're winning. But you're not winning as a child yet. You're winning as at the right age, at the right time where it's supposed to be for you. And more often than not, you're a young adult. And that's just with sports. I use that as an example, but it's going in tandem. It's something relative to the whole thing about understanding when you delayed gratification helps you plan for tomorrow, and not only plan for tomorrow, but become more active today while you're planning for tomorrow. Become more active for the next day, each day. As you reach closer to your end result, you're doing something to not only get closer, but to also improve yourself on your way towards that. That's powerful. Sure, look, we're human. We like what we like. We like to engage in things that make us happy, right? Hopefully it's more healthy and beneficial than not. But too much of anything is not good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, and I've seen this too, some people in life, whether it's like through some type of inheritance or, just stroke of luck, some people are retired very young in life, like in the 20s. And then those who, some end up just kind of like living life, doing the same thing over and over again by way of like, how many parties can you go to, how many places can you travel? I mean, you could travel everywhere. That's nonstop. That's lifelong. But, how many yachts could you be on? How many private jets or, parties can you have before you start driving yourself up the wall? You become bored because there's more to life than what you're doing. Satisfying this instant need to this drive and this energy you want to expend daily by partying, because you feel like if you don't party or you don't do these things and splurge, that you're gonna be missing out on something. And it's not real. Like it's taken away from your chance to really experience what's happening now. That's gonna help you meet tomorrow, should that day come. So we gotta kind of like put things in their proper context, in the sense where this hype and all this crazy stuff, negative energy and propaganda that's surrounding these bank runs, it's real. It shouldn't be ignored, but it's about balance. Because I'm glad at least crypto is doing what it's doing right now, at least for right now. I'm glad like most of the coins that I like are green, like they're in the green and they're doing very decent. And it's a good sign too. Excuse me. It's a good telling sign because it also supports the whole thing of why crypto exists, is my whole point, right? Imagine, sometimes you think things are just like, no hedge fund would ever look at crypto, much less DeFi and blah, blah, blah. Oh, you never know. Once your man who said invest in the preferred stock now, is great to do that now in the bank stock, because in 5 months the yield is gonna be fantastic. Once he catches whiff, once he and all of his colleagues, because you could hear, like when he said that, you could silently see, like it's like I could see, if I was watching a film, I could see the fangs start protruding right? From the mouths of the other guys, because they're like desperate, like they're talking like, yo, man, oh man, it's a plate. That's a plate right there, man. He just gave us some alpha or whatever. I'm like, come on, man, that's not alpha. You think that's alpha? Preferred bank stock? You think that's alpha? That's not alpha. You know what I'm saying? You don't, you know. Yeah, I'm sure things can be extremely complicated in finance and blah, 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 but it's extremely complicated in crypto too, because the finance is decentralized and we try to make something work. You know what I'm saying? We try to, this thing right here is leagues ahead, advanced, like super advanced beyond like some 5-month yield that you gave from a stock. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all heard of Icosa? You know what I'm saying? Have you heard of Icosa? Have you? Please. I don't think you have. I don't think you have, man. You know? Get familiar. Do your own research, you know? But yeah, we gotta keep our wits about ourselves, you know? Stay on the level. But listen, good people. That's it. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet on this one. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Take care.